Global War 36 enthusiast here with a wrap up about our victory point total at the end of Operation No Time to Die. So let's talk about the Axis VPs. So Germany gets 1 for eliminate communism. They possess 2 or more Soviet cities. 3 for Lebensraum. They would have had 4. The 2 that they're missing, they don't have Thessaly because they never invaded Greece. And I airdropped that British airborne infantry into Denmark. And so that's why Germany only has 3 for Lebensraum. They won the Spanish Civil War, that's 1, and then gain resources, 1. So Germany has a total of 6 VPs for their strategic objectives. Italy only has triumph of fascism for winning in Spain. When the Axis won the Spanish Civil War, the Nationalists won the Spanish Civil War. So Italy would need to have 1 more battleship, and Panzer J was clever in starting production of his battleship and also saving 1 IPP so that he would have 10 IPPs next turn so that he could rapid build that battleship and try to have twice as many battleships in the Med. It's an interesting point that Madman Dan brings up, that do those battleships count if Italy hasn't gone to war? But Italy could have, in theory, next turn, purchased the battleship, declared war, and hoped to get that to count. But I was already planning to bring another battleship from Sea Zone 33. I built a major port in Leon Castile last turn to give my battleship that's in Sea Zone 33. I moved it down from Sea Zone 10 down to Sea Zone 33, and then next turn I was going to move it 3 spaces into Sea Zone 80 so that I would have 5. I'm sorry, right now I have 3. I would have 4, and then Panzer J would have 6, so he wouldn't have twice as many. So I only have 1 victory point with Italy, triumph of fascism. And then Japan had 1 for Pacific security. They had Mariana Islands, Wake Islands, and Caroline Islands. And they had 2 for raw materials. 1 for the island of Borneo, 1 for the island of Java. Last turn on this turn I took Sumatra. So he got 2 points for raw materials, but unfortunately he was a victim of Madman Dan's aggression, and he lost 3 of his home country territories that were worth 1 IPP. So that took away all 3 of those points. So total, the strategic objectives for the Axis was 7. Then you add in the victory cities of Berlin, Rome, Tokyo, and Paris, and you get them up to 11. And of course the Axis did want to have that victory city of Paris, but it's ironic that Madman Dan rolled a 3, and if Paris hadn't been held by an enemy, then that wouldn't have ended the game. So it is that Paris is very interesting. 11 points for the Axis. The Comintern, they have 1 point for holding Moscow. They're down 10 territories that are worth an IPP from Germany and 4 that are worth an IPP from Japan. I didn't mention KMT or CCP. Both aren't going to score any points because of they aren't going to score any strategic objectives because of enemy-held home country territory. So Allied VPs, the USA, they have 1 for the Monroe Doctrine, 1 for technological superiority, 1 for Pacific security, of course, for having more battleships than the Japanese, and 1 for contained communism. So as far as strategic objectives, USA scores 4. Great Britain has contained communism and maintained the empire. They score 2. FEC has preserved the empire for 1. ANZAC has South Pacific security for 1. And Free France has eliminate communism for 1. So the subtotal of strategic objectives for the Allies is 9. Then when you go to count up the victory cities, they have Washington, D.C., London, Calcutta, Sydney, and Nanking. So that's 5. So the Allies won this game 14-11, and I will have another video going over lessons learned and great moves coming up in the future. Thanks so much for watching.